Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Ross Johnston. The Titans announced their first injury report for Week 3 yesterday, and it included 4 players that did not practice. Tackle J.C. Latham, corner L'Jarius Sneed, guard Kevin Zeitler, and wide receiver Bryce Oliver. In NFL news, the Buccaneers starting guard Cody Mauch suffered a season-ending knee injury on Monday night versus Houston, reported by Adam Schefter. Also, Steelers guard Max Sharping suffered a torn ACL in practice yesterday and will miss the rest of the season. The Washington Commanders will be returning to D.C. in 2030 as votes were approved on the new stadium being built at the old RFK Stadium site. Week 3 in the NFL kicks off tonight as the Buffalo Bills host the Miami Dolphins in an AFC East matchup with kickoff set for 7:15 p.m. streaming on Amazon Prime Video, and you can catch Westwood One's broadcast of the game here on The Zone starting at 7. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and the Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Doors. 615-737-1045 is the number. We'll be joined in studio by Chris Phillips, who we had on last week. We'll go around the SEC with him. He is the host of SEC Unfiltered, and it was such a good segment. We're like, hey, you live in Nashville. Why don't you come on in to the show? So we're going to go around the SEC with him. And I don't know where I want to start, Blake, to be honest with you. We have a few topics. What is up on the polls right now, Ross?
I believe it was, will Cam play all 17 games based off of these sack numbers, and then which of the Titans' next 4 games are they most likely to win?
So we're going to be talking about, we're going to go through the schedule, make our predictions, including the Colts game. How many games will they actually win? They are 0-2. See if anything changed from there. The one poll is, will Cam Ward make it through 17 games? Yeah. And because we already are at 11 sacks allowed, we are already at the offensive line is actually also already at 6 quarterback hits on top of that they have allowed, the offensive line. I'm sure there's been more quarterback hits on Cam Ward other than that.
How do you distinguish that in pressures? Pressures is somebody.
It is. It's included in pressure. Gotcha. But I mean, it's after the ball's thrown or you put on the ground. Okay. He, right now, if you take the hits and the sacks the offensive line has allowed, he has the second highest hit rate. That means he's been contacted behind the line of scrimmage at the second highest rate in the NFL.
Whether it's sacked or getting hit.
Whether it's a sack or getting hit. He gets the ball off and he gets hit. So the Minnesota is the only one that is higher right now in terms of on a per-pass basis. So looking,
and their quarterback is hurt.
Yeah, that's right. And the guy that's been hit the most since coming into the league, Jaden Daniels, who is not really built. He is also hurt.
Yeah, I was worried about him coming out, but he made it through last year. What about Joe Burrow? I know he's out with the toe.
Oh yeah, Joe Burrow. Up until this point, Cincinnati was fifth highest, but we know he's been one of the most hit quarterbacks in the NFL. So I say all that is, I mean, do you guys think that Cam Ward's going to make it through this whole season and start every game and finish every game? Because I know it's early, and I know J.C. Latham hasn't been out there, but even if J.C. Latham, because that's the thing, right? Easton said, well, I know J.C. Latham hasn't been out here, so I'll just give him a C. And I'm like, okay, well, when he comes back, how do we know we're going to get 100% J.C. Latham, right?
Yeah, that's what makes me really nervous, because it seems as though whatever he has with his hip, it could be brought on just by an awkward hip or a hit or step or something. I don't know the extent of his injury, so me not knowing everything about what's going on. I'm nervous it could just happen, come right back. He could not even touch somebody and it happen. I don't know if it's a strain or what's going on with him, but I know your power source comes from your hips whenever you're in a position like an offensive lineman. So, man, that is huge.
Well, you're never 100% in the NFL by the end of the year. Well, now he's already starting. When he comes back, he's probably 80% J.C. Latham, and then from there, it's going to get harder and harder as the season progresses and you're playing through that injury. Unless they are going to wait until it's quote-unquote 100% healed. But if you're doing that, you probably should have put him on IR already. So I think they're going to bring him back sooner rather than later. Are they rushing him back because their best option is John Ojukwu right now? Or is he really going to be healthy? Or it could be Ross out there.
Basically, might as well be.
Right.
Yes. So
Ross, how many games do you think he's going to play? 17?
I think he will. I don't like predicting injuries. I don't like predicting injuries.
I get the point. I get that point that you don't like to put that voodoo out in the world. But
I'll say this. I think I would not be surprised if there was a point in one game this year where he is not out there due to dealing with something. But I don't think he's going to miss an entire game.
Yeah. Well, before the season, when we all went through on my recall, since I couldn't remember that I said the Dogs are going to lose, is make sure this is right. When we were predicting on how many touchdowns and yardage the Cam Ward would finish with at the end of the season, I justified my number by saying that he would miss one game.
Yes,
and
he did.
Yeah, so I just feel like, and some of the hits he's had to me haven't been
egregious,
impactful. Yeah. Like, oh, boom, my gosh. I haven't seen any of those yet, so that I'm thankful for that, that he could probably last longer than most. So definitely don't want to predict injury, but I'm going to stick with that since I said that in the beginning. But
I think they get better, I would definitely say this. Based on what we have seen through 2 games, even with J.C. Latham on the field, what we have seen all last year, this isn't trending in a good direction. Now, you can use the excuse if you want. If you're one of those people that covers the Titans or that's a fan that wants to say, well, I'll hold off and pass my judgment after J.C. Latham gets back, or I'll hold off and pass my judgment when they're not playing elite pass rushers.
Or Zeitler's back.
Say whatever you want.
If Moore Jr. is back.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. He is out there.
Yeah.
Oh, welcome. But we need to see the real Moore Jr. Please step forward.
Every team that the Titans face has at least one elite pass rusher. The problem is that the Tennessee Titans have 0 elite pass rushers. Of course, that's a different problem than what we're talking about, but I just had to get that dig in there.
Or elite pass protectors.
Yeah, and no elite pass protector right now besides Skoronski. And I don't know if you would really classify him as elite. He's very good, but I don't know if you'd classify him as elite right now. But at the end of the day, you have to have some level of concern that this isn't sustainable. If this is sustainable and he can take this kind of punishment his rookie year, I don't know what that means for his long-term health, right? You can survive your rookie year, but, man, that's a lot of tread on the tires already your rookie year as far as a lot of bruises, a lot of hurt, a lot of hits that you're already taking on early in the career.
How many sacks would that be over 17 weeks if we keep at this pace, guys?
So 11 sacks.
So that's 5.5 per game times 17. Whatever that math is.
That is 93.5 sacks. Obviously, it's not going to be 93.5 sacks.
What is the record?
I think that would be, if that's not the record.
What is the record?
I don't know what the record is, but I mean, that is.
It is not 93.
It's not 93.5.
That would be a record.
Yeah. That would be the record of all records.
Oh, man. It's probably in the 70s.
David Carr was sacked 76 times in 2002. Randall Cunningham is second, 72 in 1986.
Let me say this. If he is, and it's not going to happen. I just want everybody to know that's not going to happen. But if he's sacked a record-breaking amount, that says so much about this staff's ability to evaluate offensive linemen, to be able to coach offensive linemen and recognize who can actually handle pass protection duties and fit your scheme and all this kind of stuff. But it also says a lot about the players not taking enough pride to win one-on-one matchups, not having the physicality at least. Can you not slow them down?
I mean, hopefully this doesn't happen.
So I don't think it's going to happen. Okay. I will say that. I don't think it's going to happen.
That better not happen. If not, man, it's going to be, ooh.
But,
There's going to be a lot of people out of jobs.
Yeah. I think there's going to be a lot anyway out of jobs by the end of the year. We have talked about, this kind of goes back to that winning one-on-one matchups, right? Like everybody's kind of assuming that eventually the Tennessee Titans offensive line is going to start winning one-on-one matchups. I have yet to see proof of that.
I don't even know if I believe that.
I don't. I'm with you.
I don't. It's 3 seasons now for me where we just seen
really 4 seasons if you want to count. You don't forget Daly. You got Daly, Dillard.
I just don't
last year.
And we still haven't fixed the issue. Come on.
It's the same thing though. Like
one injury, you should have already had a plan. I'm sorry. There is no excuse.
It's the same thing like yesterday when we were talking about Callahan saying like, wait until we don't face a playoff team. Like with this. Wait until we don't face an elite pass rusher. Everyone's healthy. Like, cool. Stuff happens to every team. All I know is the sample size keeps growing bigger and bigger for us not being good and the line being trash.
Look, okay, let's look at a couple different ways.
You think he's saying that to the team?
I mean, isn't he kind of saying, if he's saying it to us, doesn't that mean that the team's at least hearing it? They're very online.
That's what
we know that.
Guys, just wait till we play a team that didn't make the playoffs
You
last
think he
year.
said that?
I sure hope not.
No, not in that manner. He said, hey, we played a really good team, a playoff team. So, so you're saying and presenting things like that.
I think he's probably
says that.
I think he's probably saying we went toe-to-toe with the playoff team.
Right, that's what I'm getting at, yeah.
And maybe you did up to a certain point because what was Jeffrey Simmons messaging? We played 6 good quarters through 2 games. But we didn't play the fourth quarter very well.
Unless he's just referencing defense.
And maybe, listen, the offense isn't really helping the defense in the second half, and we'll talk a lot about that too. But like when you're talking about playoff teams, right? Right now, I think we would all agree the Colts look like a playoff team. The Texans have a good pass rush, right? They have Will Anderson, Danielle Hunter. They have all kinds of people over there.
Where would you rank them with Denver as well as the Rams?
I'm right there with them.
Right.
It's okay. So there's 2 games right there. Right now, the Colts are playing like a playoff team. Does that mean that they are a playoff team? I don't know. You suffer an injury that changes the whole dynamic of your team. But if you're looking at this team as being healthy, they look like the best team in the AFC South, which makes you a playoff team right now. The Texans have the elite pass rush or the elite defense, quote unquote elite defense. The Cardinals also look like a playoff team and have a pretty good defense right now. Yeah, the Cardinals are looking good. It's like all their draft picks are starting to click.
That's my thing. You can say it every week.
Right. The Raiders, probably not. But you have the elite pass rusher, right? The Raiders have the elite pass rusher.
Oh, yeah, Max Crosby.
But they're not a playoff team, and they look like a playoff team, but they have the elite pass rusher, and then they have Brock Bowers. The Patriots don't have. I think they have Harold Landry, and I get that he's the sack leader, but he's not the. And we know that eventually stats will likely level out. But he's not an elite pass rusher, but he's better than.
Stop yourself. He's playing the Titans.
Yeah. He's playing the Titans. That's what I was saying. But he's going to be going up against Dan Moore. Maybe J.C. Latham, but going up against Dan Moore. Then you see the Colts again. Chargers. We're talking about Chargers as a Super Bowl team.
Oh, yeah.
Then you got the Texans again. Then you got the Seahawks, who have an elite defensive-minded head coach in Mike McDonald and a pretty good pass rush right now. Then you get Trayvon Walker and Josh Allen Hines. Then you get Myles Garrett. Then you get the 49ers. We don't know what the 49ers are. You get Chris Jones. Then you get Cam Jordan and the Saints. Have no clue what the Saints are right now. And then you get Josh Allen Hines again. There's a Josh Hines Allen. Either way, I look at this schedule and I'm like, if you're talking about strictly in terms of pass rush, this offensive line gets no real reprieve throughout this situation.
Yeah.
You're either facing a playoff team or you're facing an elite pass rush or an elite pass rusher. And they're going to put that guy over your weakest offensive tackle.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't have Calvin Ridley to be relied on. You heard what Nate Washington said. He said that, he needs a reality check, and when he's being asked to be relied on, him being relied on. You have talked about it as well. Yeah. Same stuff. He's drops, right?
Yeah, it can't happen.
Overcoming mental toughness and all this kind of stuff. Teams don't fear your offense, and you've given them no reason to fear it. And we're going to talk about why in the second half, because right now, you could probably put out your defensive backups and probably still win time of possession in the second half against Tennessee Titans because it's abysmal. The stats,
really?
the film, all line up. It is abysmal. But first, we're going to go around the SEC with Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered, when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Store, 615-737-1045. And we're live from the 104.5 The Zone Circus Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circus Sports at Kentucky Down. All right, we're joined by Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered in studio. We're going to talk all things SEC football. And hey, if you guys want to ask a question to Chris Phillips and get his SEC opinion, call in at 615-737-1045. And I guess let's start out with this. University of Georgia, Tennessee, awesome game. And even in a loss, I feel like you are looking at two college football playoff teams, right? I mean, like, it kind of feels like Tennessee answered the bell.
Yeah, at least Georgia, I would say, is a lock at this point. I feel pretty confident in saying that they got the big one against Bama coming up next weekend there in Athens. But I think Tennessee, certainly college football playoff hopeful, man. I thought coming into the season, obviously the schedule really conducive to a big year. My big question for Tennessee was just, is Joey Aguilar him? And being there in person, getting to watch it, I mean, he answered the bell. I mean, he's a guy that, again, you're going to have to live and die with him a little bit with some of the shots he takes down the field. I think Chris Brazzell made him look really good on some of those deep shots. And so there's going to be moments, I think, certain games where you're going to see the turnovers maybe mount up a little bit. But, I mean, for him to go out there, do what he did against a Kirby Smart defense, yeah, I think you feel better if you can get past the initial heartbreak of the game, because that game was really, really fun from the Tennessee perspective for about 95% of it. And then the last 5%, obviously, the dogs prevail, and it's just DNA traits, Kirby Smart being Kirby Smart. It's why I picked Georgia going in that game. Felt really good about them that they just would find a way. And I think they proved a lot, too, with Gunnar Stockton at the quarterback position for them. But, yeah, I think you got to be really hopeful if you're a Tennessee fan. The good news is this. You have UAB this week. I think that is such an undervalued storyline for this week, is you're not having to go straight into the Mississippi State game or go back into a conference game. You can kind of, get over that Georgia loss, get back out there, execute, run it up on somebody, beat up on somebody, feel good about yourself again, because that heartbreak lingers a little bit. We all heard about like the hangover that happens from a game like that. So, yeah, I think you got to be optimistic as a Tennessee fan, especially too when you're going to get healthy on defense. You're going to get healthy on defense. Yeah, I think there's a lot to be excited about. And again, I think the schedule works really well for you. I hate to overemphasize that, but not all these schedules are built equally. So, yeah, I think if you're a Tennessee fan, certainly I think 10-2 is in play. Obviously, that tightrope got a little bit narrower with the loss you pick up to Georgia, a game you felt like you probably maybe should have had. And for Georgia, yeah, I mean, it's the dogs are inevitable, it feels like, under Kirby. Again, they got that big one against Bama, but no matter how that one goes, I feel pretty confident the dogs will be in the playoff.
I mean, with Gunnar Stockton, were you surprised by the offensive philosophy they showed with Gunnar Stockton coming right out of the gate? Because it felt like they kind of didn't utilize him. And I know that we've kind of talked on our show that maybe they weren't just wanting to show anything.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I thought they kind of took the training wheels off a little bit. Bobo's a guy, he loves the screen game. I get why Georgia fans get frustrated, because even I'm in the stadium, like, they ran another screen, but it works. It was working in that game. But I was so impressed with Gunnar Stockton. What really stood out was, we know about his abilities. He can run the football. He's a really good runner. I think the passing was the question, if you will. He made some nice throws down the field. But again, what impressed me most was there were so many third downs in that game where he stared down the barrel of the entire stadium weighing on him, the gravity of the situation, and just delivered a strike more often than not. And that throw he had in the corner of the end zone to London Humphreys, because of the situation, because of what was on the line, I mean, that was the game, right? I mean, that might be the best throw that I've ever seen, at least in person. Like
wow.
I mean, it was just, again, for the gravity of the situation, he delivers an absolute dime over the shoulder, and it was a great catch as well. Great throw and catch. Yes, I mean, to make that play in that situation, again, if you're a Dogs fan, you're walking away feeling the exact same way Tennessee fans are, except you got the W. We've got our guy in Gunnar Stockton. That was the big question. There were so many questions around it. Now you go into this bye week feeling really good. You're able to clean some things up. I know Kirby, there's going to be a lot to clean up for them defensively. I think that's probably your concern going into the Bama game because of what Ty Simpson and those weapons on the outside, what they can do. But, yeah, I think you got your quarterback. I mean, it doesn't mean he's not going to still have some growing pains, and there's going to be some moments of adversity, if you will, but I thought Gunnar showed me a lot, just if nothing else from the poise perspective. We got to remember that was his first big-time road start of any kind, right? He had the SEC championship, he had the bowl game against Notre Dame, and then he had two cupcake games essentially to start the season against Marshall and Austin Peay. So, I mean, that was his first real big test on the road in the SEC, and he answered the bell.
When it comes down to, if I would have told you last week, because you said that Florida was going to play LSU pretty close. You were all over that. But if I were to tell you last week that DJ Lagway was going to throw 5 interceptions, but you have to predict the score, wouldn't you have predicted it would have been more by 10 points? And how do you feel Brian Kelly handled being asked about his offense after the game?
I certainly wouldn't have bet Florida plus 8.5. Actually, that number went down, and I still took the Gators, and I regret that, obviously, because they lost by double digits. But no, I mean, I would have thought LSU would have ran all over them. And I think it speaks to, the issues they're having, which you ask about the Brian Kelly response, it's because of the struggles offensively. I mean, we find out this week Garrett Nussmeier has the torso injury. How much is that affecting him and his ability? Well, I mean, if you're hurt, listen, and everybody, as you go throughout the season, nobody's 100%. Everybody's dealing with something, but maybe it explains some of his inconsistent play. I think, honestly, Zach, this is just more Garrett Nussmeier being Garrett Nussmeier. This is kind of what he's done his entire career, and how funny, how quickly things changed. 2 years ago, we're talking about Jaden Daniels winning the Heisman, and it's a historically bad defense, and now it's the defense carrying LSU. Looks like it's the best defense for them since the early 2010s at all 3 levels, and now we got an offense that can't do much of anything right, which doesn't make a lot of sense because they've got all kinds of talent all over the roster. But yeah, things are rough right now in Gainesville. DJ Lagway with the 5 interceptions. You give LSU credit. I was very intrigued that Game Day decided that was the best possible destination for them, going down to Coral Gables, going to that game at Miami Gardens, Florida-Miami, which that spread is really interesting too at 7.5. But yeah, the Brian Kelly thing, I thought it was a bad look. I did. I thought it was a bad look for BK. I mean, listen, it's not the media's job. And we're independent media at SEC Unfiltered. We are, fly the pirate flag. We are completely, not even remotely close to traditional media. But I respect the heck out of traditional media and their role and everything. And I'm not one of these people that thinks it's got to be independent media and traditional media kind of going head to head and clashing, if you will. Like, we can respect each other. And so I respect the heck out of what journalists do, reporters. And so it's not that guy's job to, when you come into the postgame presser, pump you up and make you feel great about the game. He just asked him a question, and I get Brian Kelly's frustrated. He's irritated, but he's irritated because the guy has a point. They can't run the football. They're porous offensively, right? And that's an issue. I mean, you won the game. You're 3-0. That's great, which, I mean, what is Clemson? That's a whole other conversation. What is Florida? They lost to South Florida. That's another conversation. We're still at that point in the season, I think, early, where we're trying to figure out what everybody is. But take nothing away. You're sitting at 3-0, but I mean, you couldn't move the ball against Louisiana Tech. So, there's obviously a problem there. The reporter asked him a question. I think if you're Brian Kelly, you got to handle it better. I thought he was, and he came out and apologized 2 days later. So if anybody thinks he's not in the wrong, why did he come out and apologize? If he felt like he was, wasn't in the wrong. So it's the season. Emotions are running high. I'm not saying BK should be fired or anything. I'm just saying that I thought that was a moment of, he could have handled that a lot better. But the bigger issue, again, why can't LSU move the football with more consistency? They got Southeastern Louisiana this weekend. If they can't go out there and score 40 or 50 this weekend, I don't know if they ever will.
We're going around the SEC with Chris Phillips of SEC Unfiltered.
Well, great stuff there, Chris. I guess I want to go back to your preseason. I don't know what they were. What were your preseason predictions for the SEC to win it, or who would make the playoffs? Because now that may be changing. That's why I'm asking.
Oh, it's absolutely changing. I had Alabama, Texas in the SEC title, and I had Alabama beating Texas to win the SEC championship, and I actually had Texas winning the national title. So unless Arch Manning finds something, we're I don't know. It might be more likely they're coming to the Music City Bowl. I think there's an SEC team that plays in that. No, so I mean that was my SEC championship prediction. Then my playoff prediction. Again, I knew coming in, I felt very uncomfortable about it because it felt so simple and so easy, and we know it never works out that way.
No, never.
I'm always challenging myself, think outside the box, because I'm like, it's not going to work out how you think it's going to. There's going to be upsets. There's going to be teams that underachieve. There's going to be teams that overachieve. So I had your typical 4. I had LSU, Georgia, Texas, Alabama making the playoff. Feel really good about Georgia. I still feel good about LSU. I think they're going to get it going offensively. They just have too much talent to be as bad as they've been. I don't know if they're going to be able to run the ball, but something's got to give. I think they're going to get it going offensively. So Georgia, LSU, I feel good about. I'm still not selling all the stock on Alabama. I think there's a good chance, and we'll talk more about it next week. Ty Simpson and company go in there. And I think they could beat Georgia. I know it's a night game between the hedges, but you can't understate that mental. We always talk about Kirby Smart has Josh Heupel's number, and now he's got Steve Sarkisian's number. Well, Alabama's got Georgia's number, period. Kirby Smart's anybody. So I think that's going to be an interesting game. So I'm not selling all the stock on Bama. Texas, I don't know. The team that I would throw in there now is Oklahoma. I feel really good about Oklahoma. I think it was you and I, we talked about this last week. I think Oklahoma could make the SEC championship. They've got a big game this weekend against Auburn. Jackson Arnold coming in. I don't see any way Jackson Arnold walks in there and beats them. I think they'll be ready for that one. Oklahoma minus 6.5 is one of my best bets of the week. So I think Oklahoma has emerged as a playoff team for sure, and maybe an SEC title contender. Beyond that, I think it's probably those 5 fighting for 4 spots for the playoff. Outside of that, I think you look at Tennessee. I think Tennessee has
Tennessee goes 10-2. Let's say they
Tennessee's 110. If you go 10-2 in the SEC, you're in.
Because who do you have to beat? Alabama as well as Florida?
Yeah.
The toughest 2 teams.
Yeah, well, and again, is Billy Napier even the head coach? Because that game's so late in the season now, second to last week. The thing you got to overcome there, obviously, going to the Swamp. You haven't won there, I think, since 2003.
Yeah, Oklahoma and Vandy, too. So, Vandy's no slouch. We haven't even talked about Vandy.
It's interesting, because the schedule looks, week to week, it looks more difficult or less difficult based off how teams are playing, right? That's the tough thing. So I'll tell you this, too, that the game that we're going to this weekend, Missouri, South Carolina, I think Mizzou's a player. And a lot of it, too. Number one, Mizzou offensively has been electric. Bo Prabula, Ahmad Hardy might be the best running back in the conference. But, you look at them, the schedule's really conducive to a big year for them, too. It shakes out really, really well. They miss some of the top teams in the conference. And, again, they've got a really good team. They don't leave Como till October 18th.
Right.
They've just, the way that schedule worked out for them. By the way, another one I didn't mention, Texas A&M. They made a statement on Saturday beating Notre Dame. They got things to shore up defensively, but I trust Mike Elko to do it. But the way Marcel Reed is playing, he's taking that next step. That
he's from here in Nashville.
That wide receiver room is absolutely electric. Might be the best in the conference, and they've got a 1-2 punch at running back with Moss and Foster. That's incredible. So, there's a lot of teams right now that obviously still have a lot of hope. I'm not willing to sell all of my preseason predictions and expectations. Even Texas. You just feel like at some point it's like, is Arch Manning going to really be this bad all season? Is the offense going to be this bad, or do they get it going? So there's a lot unresolved right now that we got to figure out over the next couple of months.
I know it's way too early, but I know a lot of people are talking about quarterbacks and who's playing well and some of the transfer guys, but who is the MVP right now?
It's got to be John Mateer.
Right.
It's got to be. Does
that put Oklahoma into it?
Well, when you got a quarterback, when you got a quarterback, you got a chance. When you got a guy like that, I got to see him in person a couple weeks ago at the Oklahoma-Michigan game in Norman. Great atmosphere, had a great time. But he's awesome, man. He's just a playmaker. He's a guy that goes out there. And I think the big thing for him, kind of similar to Joey Aguilar, they're sort of similar in this way, is that take care of the football, make smart decisions, play within yourself, like be who you are. It's going to be a little erratic at times, but, be who you are, make big plays, take risks, take chances, but can you also balance that out with being smart, getting the football to your playmakers, not putting your team in a bad spot because of a turnover or just a mistake or a blunder or whatever. So, but John Mateer's been electric, just under, I think, 1,000 passing yards already on the season. But hey, right behind him is Joey Aguilar. So, Joey Aguilar is right there too. And I think the style of play is really conducive for both of them. They're going to have big seasons, I think. And that was my big question for Tennessee, was just the quarterback. Because I think once defense once you get healthy on the outside, I think the defense still should be a strength. I think you just got to give Georgia credit in that game, the way they played offensively. So I think defense will be a strength. And I think if you got the quarterback, you've got weapons. Brazel showed himself as a wide receiver one. I think Mike Matthews is a really talented player. It's going to continue to come on. I love Kitzelman at tight end. I think the running back room is deep, and it's a little bit better than people realize. And the offensive line's been solid. So, but I got to go John Mateer right now. But there's a lot of guys that we weren't necessarily expecting to be the top guys that we're talking about. Again, Joey Aguilar was a complete unknown coming in. Mateer, too. We saw him do it at Washington State, but the question was, can he do it at the Power 4 level? Now it's, can he do it at the SEC level? Because this is his first SEC contest. So, again, it's another one of those games. So much of the narrative can change, because if Auburn goes in there and beats Oklahoma and Jackson Arnold plays well, all of a sudden we're talking about the Auburn Tigers as being right there at the forefront of being a playoff contender. They'll be sitting undefeated. Jackson Arnold, I think we could be having a different conversation about him. It changes on a week-to-week basis, man. That's why we love it. It's a lot of fun.
I guess lastly for me, though, is what's kind of, let's say, been your boldest or biggest surprise team? Maybe not competing for the playoffs. We all sitting here thinking about Vanderbilt, but there's some other SEC teams, Mississippi State. That are doing. Which team is more surprising to you that they're playing as well as they are?
I think Vandy is a good option for that. And I thought Vandy was going to be solid this year. I did. I mean, I had them going back to a bowl game, but I think the way they've been doing it, the way it has looked, right, just beating up on people. Like, they're not getting by, and it's little old Vandy pulling the upset. I mean, they go into Blacksburg, and I know it's a Virginia Tech team that just fired their head coach, and they're in disarray. But Vandy sent them into disarray because of what they did in that second half, right? I mean, the South Carolina game, I know Lenora Sellers goes out, but I mean, the way they just took it to them for 4 quarters, and I mean, it's so much more beyond Diego Pavia. I think that's just been so impressive. I give Clark Lee all the credit in the world. The defense he's built, the pieces he's put around Diego Pavia, it's so much more than just the quarterback. And obviously, when you got a guy like Pavia, maybe the best leader in the entire conference. I mean, he's that type of dude. So, yeah, Vandy's fun to watch, and I think it's not your little old Vandy sneaking up on you anymore. They're a real contender. I think so.
That's what makes it even more surprising. Everybody knows they are for real, and they're not sneaking it up on people.
And that's pretty crazy, right? But I have to say, Mississippi State, though, they took down Arizona State. They're putting up a lot of points, and that's something they couldn't do last year, even against the bad teams. They look like a totally different team that has bought into something. Is this all just Jeff Lebby magic at this point?
I thought they would be much improved. We got to see what Arizona State is, I think, as well. I mean, that was a huge win, obviously. Yeah. The big question for me was defensively, and it looks like they've taken massive strides. I think offensively with Jeff Lebby, you never question it, right? Like, you never question his offensive prowess, and I think one of the best offensive minds in the game. Blake Shapen was a guy coming in we talked about that I felt really good about, a dude that won the Big 12 Player of the Year, Big 12 MVP, if you will, a couple years ago, and obviously gets hurt last year, cuts his season short. You know, he's a guy. Then you look at what they have around him. I mean, Fluff Bothwell and Devon Booth at the running back positions. They've added some guys at the wide receiver position that have really stepped up, that have been really, really good. Yeah, they're an exciting team, man. They really are. I think they've got a good chance. Obviously, this weekend they play Northern Illinois. They're one of my best bets. Again, I think they cover. I think they're going to keep the good times rolling and start Vegas. And that's a tricky road trip for Tennessee the following weekend. It really, really is. So I think this is a team, listen, we all said, I had Mississippi State fans tell me before the season, if you can just get to 5 wins, it's a success. They're going to get to 4 this weekend. Now, the SEC schedule is going to kick in. It's going to hit another gear, but I don't see any reason why they can't win at least 2 SEC games. I think getting to a bowl game is very realistic for this group.
Is this going to be a kind of year where the SEC really probably does get in a 9-3 team? Because it seems like, I mean, every time you talk about a different SEC team, you're like, well, if they win this week, they could be in the playoffs.
I think it's a much stronger possibility than what we saw a season ago. And I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, because of how it shook out last year, because of some of the teams that got in with the SMUs and the Indianas and the way the whole Clemson thing happened with them kind of backing their way into the college football playoff. Yeah, I think the SEC is going to get a little bit more benefit of the doubt. I mean, they had 3 teams last year, all in South Carolina, Alabama, and Ole Miss that, you know, I think all had a case. You know, you could argue all were deserving, if you will, in their own right. So I can't say 110% is it going to happen, but I definitely think it's more likely. Like, and if it's the right team, that's the key. Like, if Oklahoma ends up going 9-3, we all agreed in the preseason their schedule was maybe the most difficult in the conference. I think it actually was labeled the most difficult in the conference. If they go 9-3 and it's the right 3 losses, you're going to have a hard time convincing me they're not deserving of a spot in the college football playoff. So I think it depends. Like, if Mizzou goes 9-3, I don't think they have much of a case. I think, honestly, if Tennessee were to go 9-3, I don't know that you've got as much of a case with some of the others just because of the schedule. But then again, the difficulty of the schedule is going to evolve and change because of teams get better, teams get worse, whatever. So maybe Tennessee would have a case, maybe Missouri, et cetera. So, but if it's the right team, I think with the right resume, I do think it's more likely to happen this year because of, we saw this play out last year. It was almost like we're kind of, hey, let's give them the benefit of the doubt because we didn't factor in strength of schedule. It was just all about how many wins do you have, and that's what frustrated folks, you know, like us, like so many coaches and people in these buildings that, you know, it doesn't benefit us to play a hard schedule. It doesn't benefit us to schedule difficult out of conference. Like, it's all about just Indiana went 11-1 and played nobody. And the one team they played, they got boat raced by, and then they got to the playoff and they got boat raced again. So I think it's one of the reasons you saw the new protocols moving forward. and why the SEC was willing to go to the 9-game conference schedule. They're now there's some sort of new procedure where they're taking into account strength of schedule. We'll see how that plays out in the future. But I think that school of thinking is going to start more so this year, where I do think the SEC gets more the benefit of the doubt. Who that team's going to be, is it a 4th SEC team or a 5th SEC team? We'll see. It just kind of depends on how much this league beats up on each other.
Well, there you go. Chris Phillips over at SEC Unfiltered. Give everybody the lowdown of SEC Unfiltered.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, man. It's really cool to come in studio, by the way. This is a lot of fun. I appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity. Yeah, we're at SEC Unfiltered, X, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you get your content, YouTube, podcast, our website, secunfiltered.com. We're on the SEC Unfiltered tour right now, traveling for the next 12-plus weekends. This weekend we'll be in Columbia, Missouri for the Missouri-South Carolina game. We've already had great experience at this point. We had Rocky Top last weekend, went to Norman, went to Columbus, Ohio. Again, only going to continue. They get better and better. And, yeah, we're talking all things football, baseball, basketball, continuing to grow. We're scaling out. We just announced yesterday we're going to be adding shows to the network, team affiliates. So it's really just the beginning for us, man. So
there you go. Nashville's own Chris Phillips, SEC Unfiltered. When we come back, we'll talk more about the Tennessee Titans as covered too with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone.
You might not know this, but there's an auto repair company that pays its mechanics more than any repair shops that you know in this area. Hey, it's Blaine Bishop for Eurofix. And why would Eurofix do that? Well, a decent technician can make 50 to 60 grand a year. And a good technician that's pretty fast can make up to 120,000 a year. And a really, really fast technician who's really, really good at what he does can make over 180,000 as a mechanic. Can you believe that? And a lot of people look down on mechanics, and they shouldn't. Local owner Aaron Stokes is an ex-mechanic, and mechanics are what make the world go round, especially if you ask Aaron. And everything out there has to be worked on. So did you know that Eurofix is not open on the weekends? Well, why? Well, because Eurofix wants the kids and moms and dads and employees to have weekends together and to spend time as a family and not apart. And Aaron Stokes figured out a long time ago, if home life is unhappy, work life will be unhappy too. So that's why Eurofix is open Monday through Friday. And Eurofix repairs European vehicles fixed below dealer pricing each and every month. 3 years, 36,000-mile nationwide warranty as well on all repairs Eurofix performs. Have 5 locations in Tennessee, and all you have to do is just give them a call at 844-EUROFIX. That's right, 844-EUROFIX, or you can visit them online at myeurofix.com. That's myeurofix.com.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. Didn't know. See, we have a screen, for those that may not know, that tells us if a song is playing or if we're coming back from commercial. And it does not tell us, for whatever reason, this song is actually playing.
Yeah.
So I didn't know we were coming back from break.
On purpose. He did that on purpose.
It's off the computer.
It's off the computer? Okay.
What is this?
This is Portland by Drake, instrumental.
There you go.
I thought I heard this before.
All right. So we just got done with Chris Phillips. He's going to be joining us throughout the college football season weekly.
SEC.
But Diego Pavia, I think we need to give a little bit of love to Vanderbilt.
Oh, yeah.
And obviously, but what do you, he said John Mateer for SEC MVP.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Diego Pavia as a SEC MVP? Because listen, Clark Lee and Diego Pavia have that connection, that like emotional, mental connection, it feels like, where they inspire. But the team has also bought in on it. It just makes things feel a little bit more special around Vanderbilt right now.
Well, to me, that was last year. This year, now, it's more about we know we're good, Vanderbilt. So I don't buy in it too much as that, because it's the second year. What you do buy into is that you are for real.
Yeah.
That you are for real. The way they're beating people dominantly, especially in that second half there in South Carolina, is unbelievable. So you got a hats off to them and what they've done and changed the program. I had some transfer portal guys help them out a lot, especially up front. So, yeah. But if you say Diego Pavia is MVP right now in the conversation as far as SEC, where you got Joey Aguilar? Oh,
he's got to be there too, right? I mean, like,
well, let's pull up their numbers. I have no idea what their numbers are, but I'm assuming passing Aguilar has to be winning, right?
Oh, I would be very surprised if he wasn't.
So
we'll pull it up.
If the rushing yards and everything that Pavia brings to the table is more beneficial, or is MVP actually is you extracting that actual player and the team wouldn't be very good? How do you value MVP of a conference? Like, what are the things you're looking at?
So Diego Pavia has 7 passing touchdowns, 0 rushing touchdowns. Joey Aguilar
rushing
has
yardage,
9 touchdowns passing,
so 9,
and 1 touchdown rushing. So he has 10 total touchdowns. So he's got 3 more total touchdowns than Diego Pavia. He has Diego Pavia obviously has 129 rushing yards. Now, granted there are probably sacks in here that I can't take out and extrapolate because of how college football does it for whatever reason. And Joey Aguilar has 26 rushing yards, but there's also 906 yards passing for Joey Aguilar versus 645 for Diego. So you would have to say.
Wait, hold up. Hang on.
Right.
Joey Aguilar's thrown 95 passes. Diego's thrown 68. So that's part of the reason. And Pavia's passer rating is 8 points higher than Joey Aguilar's right now.
Ooh, this made it even closer.
And I will say this, when you're talking about touchdown ratio, like how many passes, your touchdown rate, 10.3 touchdown rate for Diego Pavia, 9.5 for Joey Aguilar.
Oh,
so
this is a close.
They have the same yards per attempt, 9.5 yards per attempt, that Joey hasn't thrown as many passes as, Diego hasn't thrown as many passes as Joey.
So you would have to say that is being
should factor in.
Where's your vote going after hearing that? I know it's tough, it's close, but we're only talking about 2 games.
If we're talking like most valuable to their team, I would give it to Diego.
There you go.
But Joey's playing outstanding too.
Right. But see, that's why I'm asking you, how do you value MVP? What is your definition of MVP in the SEC?
Okay, I think I got a good case for why, obviously, John Mateer, first off, is because we saw Jackson Arnold in a similar offense with a similar team not do what John Mateer is doing. We've seen now Diego Pavia do the same thing 2 years in a row at Vanderbilt. Now it's kind of like amped up because everybody around the team is a little bit more bought in. But couldn't most people do what Diego Pavia does on the field? Or would you argue that, because I go with this with Joey Aguilar, is that everybody talks about it's a Josh Heupel system as a quarterback-friendly system and blah, blah, blah. So couldn't everybody kind of do what Joey Aguilar is doing? So I just kind of wonder, like, how much is the system? How much is the player? How much is the fit? To play devil's advocate, I mean, I'm a John Mateer guy. I think he's definitely should be at the forefront of the MVP conversation.
No doubt. I was
But
just
like
saying where
Diego
these guys
Pavia
fit in this
is like,
place.
could Joey Aguilar do what Diego Pavia is doing at Vanderbilt? And could you swap those two situations and get the same results?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know enough about Aguilar to say what he brings to the table as far as the leadership part of it. Not knowing enough. I haven't paid attention a lot to his interviews. He seems like a great guy and everything, but don't know. I would say Aguilar actually had a tougher go-around because of when he arrived.
Yeah.
And the impact he's had in a short window. So this is a close. That's why I brought it up, because first instinct it goes Diego because of what Vanderbilt's looked like this season, like no other. And then you go Aguilar, well, he just got there and he's beating. I mean, really, he beat Georgia. I mean, to a certain extent. I mean, he did all he could do. I mean, man, so it's just woo. Would you say Joey Aguilar if they would have beat Georgia?
I would say be very hard pressed to say not. And really, he's
Diego,
not the reason that they lost, right? Like, he's not the reason that they lost. So that is a good point. Like, if when we're sitting here discussing this, he's not the reason they lost the Georgia game.
Yeah.
He's really the reason why they were in the Georgia game, right? Him and Chris Brazzell at that point. But, like, that's got to go for something when you're talking about MVP conversation that, hey, they got as close as any other. They got closer than any other University of Tennessee team under the Josh Heupel era to actually beating them, and he wasn't the reason why they lost. The offense was not the reason why they lost, specifically the passing offense. So now I'm kind of talking through it. Is why you have discussions and conversations.
Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, and
Joey Aguilar probably is number 2.
Right. So I mean, your guy Mateer is number 1. So those are your top 3.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know if I'd have anybody that'd crack the top 3 right now.
I'd slide Marcel Reed in there, honestly.
Marcel Reed.
I don't know. I haven't been as impressed with Marcel Reed, to be honest with you, as probably other people are. But he has a whole season. I think he could get better, but he may be the reason eventually they drop a game, if that makes sense.
Why do you believe that?
Something about the way that the offense has moved with him and the kind of the little bit of the struggles here and there that he has shown, he's been kind of a little inconsistent in my mind.
Wow.
They also put up a lot of points to beat Notre Dame on the road.
44,
they did,
right?
Yeah, I think last.
I didn't see the game, but I understand what Marcel Reed brings to the table.
Yeah.
I mean, his game is going to be somewhat inconsistent when you're talking about on the passing game, but he brings the run in as well as throwing. So, and hey. What are they, 3-0 as well?
They are. Listen, that's what I'm saying. I think there's going to be quite the argument to be made that maybe they just need to do an all-SEC tournament.
5 teams make it?
I mean, it's really shaping up that way.
They're going to beat each other up. We haven't even brought up Ole Miss.
I don't think Ole Miss is real. But I have to see.
They always have to be real.
Yeah, Alabama. We'll see. Like, I know he's not ready to give up on Alabama, and I'm not ready to give up on Alabama. But it's gonna be really hard for me to buy into an actual SEC powerhouse Alabama until I see a really big win.
Right. Do people typically say I don't want to give up when they say the word give up?
What do you mean?
Did you already give up when you said I don't give up?
No, I mean,
Alabama.
I mean, I gave up on the idea that Alabama. I'll say this: I never believed Alabama was in the national title conversation like other people did. I never believed they were in the SEC. Not. And so, to me, honestly, for me to have to change that mind or my outlook on that, I'm going to have to see something. And I just haven't seen it yet. And just like the Tennessee Titans, you have to see it to believe it. We haven't seen anything from the Tennessee Titans yet. And we'll talk more about that when we come back. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 104.5 The Zone.
Parents, when your teen athlete gets injured, every practice miss matters. Don't let an injury sideline you this season or your dreams. Introducing the Edge Athletic Recovery Program, a 2-month, twice daily sublingual peptide protocol designed to help your athlete heal faster, recover stronger, and get back on the field safely. Our science-backed peptides like BPC 157 and TB 500 support muscle, tendon, and ligament repair with no needles, no downtime, and no hassle. Safe for teens, non-GMO, gluten-free, and easy to take at home. Optional add-ons include M-Scope functional sessions and regenerative orthopedic treatments to accelerate recovery even more. So don't wait. Give your athlete the best shot at full return to the sport. And call Edge Peptide Therapy at 615-724-1878. That's 724-1878.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by All Four Seasons Garage Door. 615-737-1045 is the number. We're live from the 104.5 The Zone Circa Sports Studio. Kentucky's largest sports book can now be found at Circa Sports at Kentucky Downs. And Blaine, a lot has been made this week about halftime adjustments, and we've talked about halftime adjustments and the reality of what is and isn't going on in the locker room during halftime and all that kind of stuff, and how maybe the term halftime adjustments is a little overrated. And I guess I want to ask you this, because I want to kind of dive into this second half situation with the Tennessee Titans, because for those that may not know, the Tennessee Titans in the first half have the highest number of drives. They lead the NFL with 13 offensive drives. So just factor that into your head, knowing that they don't score a lot of points, which is wild. They are 32nd in the first half in yards per drive with 20.3 yards per drive. They are 30th in plays per drive at 5.2 plays per drive. So they have the highest amount of drives in the NFL, but they ain't doing crap with it. And they have the fifth highest time of possession. 33 minutes and 48 seconds in the first half is what they have had through two games.
They're containing the ball.
So they're containing the ball. They just ain't doing anything with it. They're looking at the ball is pretty much what they're doing. They're saying, oh, that's a pretty looking ball. That's what they're doing and wasting everybody's time. And because when you get to the second half, they are still tied for second with the highest amount of drives in the second half on offense, 12.
Oh, okay.
But they are 32nd in yards per drive, where they go from 20.3, which is 32nd in the first half, to 6.2 yards per drive. I had to go all the way back to 2011, Blaine, to find a singular NFL team through the first 2 weeks who was in the single digits in yards per drive in the second half. And that was the 2011 Kansas City Chiefs, who were at 9.9. So they barely made it. They were almost 10.
Who was on the team?
Dwayne Bowe was on the team. I don't know who quarterback was, but it was
Dwayne Bowe. Was pretty, I forgot about him. He was pretty good.
Was 2011 I think that was the year before they bottomed out. Then Andy Reid got there. I'm not sure on that, but I think that's what it is. The Tennessee Titans go from 5.2 plays per drive to 4.9 in the second half, and then they drop, remember, 33 minutes and 48 seconds in the first half, 24 minutes and 12 seconds. So this defense isn't being able, kind of like it was last year, right? This defense isn't able to maintain what it's able to do in the first half, because that's a lot of time to make up. Now, that got a little bit better in the Rams game, is a little bit more even in total time of possession. But in the second half, what you're talking about is a huge, huge difference. All of this to say is I know that halftime adjustments are kind of a little bit of a myth, because you do adjustments and tweaks here and there throughout the whole game. You're seeing plays after drives and all that kind of stuff. But take us kind of through at least your experience at halftime. What was your all structure like for how the team handled the halftime? Like, was there certain things that you guys always were doing every day during halftime? Were you giving a lot of leeway, freedom to kind of get your mind right? Then you guys got together and talked as a unit. Like, what happened when you were playing in your all's halftimes?
Well, naturally now they have the pad, so, they can probably make adjustments while they're standing there on the sideline immediately. But as far as when I was playing halftime, is we would go over kind of the things that they had already talked about were adjustments, but then you're formulating it with everybody there present, whether that was O-line, D-line, defensive backs. That way everybody was staying on the same page. I think that was really kind of what happened. But it was so fast. It wasn't a lot. The longest one was the Super Bowl, but halftime. But that's really it. So when they talk about halftime, sometimes they do get up on the board and drop like one or two plays that didn't expect, and then what we're going to do to it in the adjustment, and then we move on, at least as far as defense.
Yeah.
So it's not a lot of time, but it's enough to make sure everybody's on the same page. And there's always something you want to address at halftime that, with everybody present, it's a little different. So.
And see, I think the question has been asked to Brian Callahan incorrectly. because they've been asking, talk about halftime adjustments. And then they come up with all this things that we don't have a lot of time. Halftime adjustments don't really happen. People hear Peyton Manning say they didn't really have a lot of time, right. Orange slices, all that kind of stuff. But I think the question that should be posed to Brian Callahan when you're trying to figure out what's going on at halftime and what's leading to second half collapses or whatever is like, what is your structure? What are your players doing? What's the focus of your halftimes? Not necessarily the adjustments, because I go back to this article from a couple of years ago where this guy got exclusive access, Matt Burrow of The Athletic, exclusive access during like week 14 of a San Francisco 49ers. I don't think so. I think I mispronounced it, actually. But Barrow, maybe. But he was in the San Francisco 49ers locker room. And these players get 4 minutes to do whatever they need to do. If it's been raining, you change your clothes. If you need IV, they'll hook you up to an IV real quick. All that. And then while the game is going on, there is a crew there that is setting up 3 rows of chairs, offense, defense. There's a pass game board, a run game board, all that kind of stuff. And then after the first 4 minutes of you getting situated, they go into all business mode, whatever is going on. And I do wonder what is going on in the locker room. Doesn't have to be that exact thing, obviously, but what kind of structure is being had at halftime with this team? Because whatever they're doing at halftime, whether that's, I don't know what they're doing, but whatever they're doing at halftime obviously isn't leading up to sustainability. And maybe this is more of a conversation about how they handle coaching in the second half. The coaches themselves, not the players, how they handle it, but like how do the coaches actually coach? Are they coaching to not lose the game? Or are they coaching to keep their foot on the pedal and let's get aggressive? I could be both, but something about this second half is just bad for this team. Was this
second half not just with Callahan? Was it also with Vrabel too as well? Like that last year?
So Vrabel in 2022, there was a big disparity in the second half. They were 19.4 yards per drive in the second half in 2022. In 2023 and 2020 and 2021, they were kind of in that little bit of range where it was probably league average. But they were still having deficiencies in the second half, even under Vrabel, towards those last 2 years where they looked like the same team. And maybe it's a Tennessee water issue where these coaches drink this and it just, neuters all aggression in the second half or something.
Well, that's why I'm thinking it's not a Callahan. It was, even Vrabel's teams, it seemed like, if I can recall, that happened at least for sure that last year. That second half, somehow we weren't scoring points.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is. I don't know if it has anything to do with any adjustments or adjustments on the sideline.
Yeah, I mean, even Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill wasn't scoring points. But when you had A.J. Brown, you were, and gaining yards and all that. But when you had Derrick Henry and Ryan Tannehill, you weren't. Maybe this is a Calvin Ridley issue. I don't know.
Maybe it's just a Jimmy and Joe's issue.
Maybe.
They just don't have enough to sustain throughout an entire game.
But 6.2
to me, it's
yards.
just mental focus to me. But it's more than that. But I'm not in the locker room. I don't know the guys like that. So
that's really why I feel like what is going on in this locker room at halftime? Like, what is the actual structure of it? Because obviously, I agree with pretty much everybody else. There's only so much adjustments you can do. I mean, even Shanahan and them are really just talking about, okay, here's what we saw in the first half. Here's what we expect to see in the second half. Hey, here's some plays from he has 24 scripted plays. So here are the plays that were left over from our opening game script that we're going to implement when we come out. Like, he's talking about the stuff that they're going to lean into that worked in the first half. It's not really adjustments in the sense that everybody's using it.
Just organized it all.
But what is the organization? What is the structure of your halftimes? And I think that's a pretty good question.
Well, I'd love to hear someone have him explain that. What are they doing at half?
Because whatever they're doing, regardless of whether it's the talent, whether it's the coaching, it's not working, and it's gotten worse. I mean, even last year, it was bad through the first 2 weeks. They were 14.5 yards per drive last year through 2 weeks. This is 6.2. 6.2 in the second half.
It's not funny.
I mean, it's not funny, but it's. I
my
didn't even.
God.
I quit after 2011.
Oh, my.
Is that going to be the? If I went all the way back to 2001, is that still going to be the lowest amount through the first 2 weeks of an NFL offense? I would have to say probably so, which is not good.
I think you're just looking for something just to depress me.
Well, probably. I wake up this morning and I wake up and I get my Celsius
God.
energy drink. I look at Lauren. I go, all right, I got to figure out how I'm going to make Blaine sad today.
Man, I'm about to tell you, oh man, none of this just sounds good, man.
It doesn't. All right, when we come back, after getting that rant out of the way, when we come back, we're going to go, me, you, and Ross, we're going through the schedule.
I'm still depressed.
I know. Well,
gonna make it worse.
Listen, this
over
next
it.
segment's probably not going to make you any better.
I gotta
But
go.
coming up next, we're going to go through the Titans' remaining schedule and figure out where do the wins come from. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons right here on 104.5 The Zone.
Booking the tour.
Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone, powered by all Four Seasons Garage Stores. 615-737-1045 is the number. How many wins do you think the Titans are going to get when you look at the remaining schedule? The remaining 15 games. We got 15 games we're going to go through.
We're going to all 15, or we're just do the next 4 or 5?
I was going to go through all 15. And we can just do the next 4 or 5, but it may not be pretty. I was at least trying to bring a little bit of positivity because I think all the wins are coming in the back half of the season.
I think we just need to stop at New England.
Oh, I like it. I like it because that does seem like the pivot point, right? I know a lot of people that have been eyeing this game, the Patriots game, as, okay, this is your last home game before the Patriots game. So you go on the road 3 straight weeks, and then you come back home to the Patriots. And if you are 0-6 and you drop to 0-7,
no,
I don't know how Amy and Brian coexist.
Berganze.
Yeah, like it feels to be like at that point, I mean, it just it'd be terrible.
Okay, so we got the Colts, Houston, then Arizona.
Yeah, Colts at home, Houston on the road, Arizona on the road, and Las Vegas on the road, and then the Patriots back home.
Oh, dang.
This is the hardest part of the schedule, mainly because of not only the quality of the opponents, because this is your only 3-game stretch where you're on the road 3 straight weeks. Okay, so
oh my,
let's all go around the room. And this Sunday, I know it's a day ahead of when we normally do our predictions. We don't have to give our score predictions.
Okay.
But how confident are you, Blaine, that the Titans are actually going to pull out a win? I guess I'm going to ask this 2 ways. Do you think they can win? And if they lose, do you think they'll look competitive?
Those are 2. I actually do believe that they can win.
Okay.
The question to me, and it's the same question as last year, how consistently can they play at the same level? Like, they have to play at the top of their level, and I just don't think they can do it an entire game.
Because if you're looking at this team, right, well, all we've heard the last 2 weeks from the Titans apologists in the media have been like, well, they played these great defenses, right? When we had the numero uno president of the Titans apology fan club, Easton Freeze, on here yesterday, who said, well, I don't, those were elite defenses. You know, that's the best. Okay. The Colts are about what I would say is an NFL average defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Their
NFL
offense now has been elite.
Yeah, their offense has been great.
Yeah.
But they are an NFL defense because, like we've said all year, you're really going to have to win on the back of your offense. So it comes down to, do you have faith that this team can score points?
No, not until they do. But I think just because this is a division game, it's going to be a little lower scoring. And that's going to keep them in the fight. Now, whether they can win it is a different story. I'm assuming home cooking. But, man, when you watch the Colts now, I mean, even Daniel Jones, you're just like, man, dang, what has gotten into him? I mean, he just looks super confident like he's been in his offense. Matter of fact, it just now reminded me, Daniel Jones potentially will probably become Ryan Tannehill for the Colts.
And listen,
that's how it looks.
Yeah.
It looks like he's about to get a long-term contract if he keeps playing to this level, even if he just dips a little bit and comes back. Like, he looks like he's going to be their dude. Yeah. I mean, man, and the offense is flowing. Man, they may want to move Richardson to tight end or something.
They may just trade him.
Right now. What's the over under on it in the who's favorite?
Well, last I checked, it was Colts were favored by 3.5. Now I'll double check that.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna say the Titans will win.
Titans will win.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got them at least winning this game so far. We'll get to the other games.
What's the total points? Only reason why I'm asking that is because we haven't scored enough points where we're averaging 17 points or whatever it is.
Yeah,
it's a low number in my mind, and we're going to have to exceed that. We're going to have to get in the 20s. That's what. Yeah.
I mean, you definitely have to get in the 20s because you got a team that's already scored 33 and I think 28 or 29 last week.
Well, we got to look at the Dolphins.
Yeah.
And who they played.
But you are the Dolphins, pretty much. I mean,
they don't think they're the Dolphins.
Yeah, they don't.
But and they played Denver, so that's you understand what they do. And they went after Surtain, by the way, and we didn't. I mean, we kind of shied away.
I'm seeing 43 and a half.
43 and a half.
43 and a half.
Total points. And still 3.5 favored by the Colts?
Yes.
Okay.
So Colts 24, Titans 21.
We'll let you marinate on that. We'll let you marinate
I'm
on
saying
it.
the Titans are going to win.
The Titans are going to win.
Titans going to win. I'm the only one, man. I know Ross is over there whatever.
I love the rivalry hijinks aspect of this.
Yeah,
and you know that the Zaire Franklin already put some stuff out on the bulletin board material saying that, make that pass on me or attempt that pass on us and we'll intercept it. Talk about the Elikai Manor.
I know. He said we'd intercept that.
Yeah. Something like that. He said, just do it. We dare you or something like that.
Yeah. He did say.
Yeah. But I will say it is an interesting, when you factor in the rivalry dynamics, like if let's say this, if the Colts were coming from the AFC North and this was just the Tennessee Titans facing the AFC North team, I would be picking the AFC North team, hands down, no doubt, because but this has that rivalry game aspect to it.
Mm-hmm.
There's a little bit sense of desperation to this Titans team, desperation from the coach. Can they act on that? I don't know. See, that's my thing. My big hang up is I still don't know what this team is, and I see what the Colts are. The Colts are trying to be that kind of Eagles South, if you will, or, it's kind of working for them. They kind of remind you a little bit of that Ryan Tannehill Tennessee Titans magic, the perfect quarterback fit with the perfect scheme fit.
Mm-hmm.
The defense is playing really good. If I'm choosing coaches, right? I'm choosing Shane Steichen over Denard Wilson, and I'm choosing Lou Anarumo over Brian Callahan in the coaching matchups. But I do agree with you that, I don't know, low-scoring game. If it's a low-scoring game, the Tennessee Titans are in it. But I'm going to go with the Colts are going to win. But I'm not as confident as I was in the last two games about this game because of the rivalry, not because of the Tennessee Titans.
Ross.
At this point, I'm not going to predict this to win until they can show me otherwise. So I'll go Colts 20-.
We'll do the scores tomorrow.
Colts.
Okay, so let's go to the next game. On the road at Houston. And you guys are going to find it crazy, but I'm picking the Tennessee Titans to win this game.
I actually like that.
I think they're going to win this game. I think they're going to go in there because while the Texans do have the better defense, I don't think this offense is very good. And this offensive coordinator decided that it was going to put the protection calls and everything in the hands of C.J. Stroud. And he had Bobby Sloak for 2 years not do that. Nobody did at Ohio State either.
But what did that just tell you, though? What did that just tell you? What you just said, C.J. Stroud won. I want to make the calls.
Right. And then it's not working for this Texans offense is what I'm saying.
Who's making the calls for the Titans?
Well, Cam Ward. And I know it's not working for them, but what I'm saying is I just don't believe in this Texans team be on this offense. And I think this is one of the few offenses that you'll face besides maybe like the Browns that you probably got to punch your chance against. And so, or the Saints too. So I'm going to go with the Texans on this one because I think rivalry hijinks will.
Texans or the Titans?
Titans. I'm going with Titans on this. So I do think the Titans are going to beat the Texans on the road.
I'm going Houston.
Oh, Ross.
Oh, yeah. I'm going Houston on the road. They're front. And I think they have playmakers, enough playmakers on offense to overshadow probably the play calling or even the offensive line. We have no elite D linemen besides Jeff as far as pass rushers. So, yep, I'm going Texans.
I don't know. I'm smelling upset. Now, look at that. Look who's the positive one now, everybody.
But we're talking about 3 weeks from now.
Don't worry, I'm
going
to spin it here in a second.
I'm going to change it. That's why I didn't want to go past New England.
All right. The Tennessee Titans will then go across the country to the Arizona Cardinals, who the Arizona Cardinals are looking very, very good. Not enough people are really talking about the Arizona Cardinals.
What?
They are looking pretty good on offense,
Murray?
on defense. Oh, yeah.
Just Murray and Harrison Jr.? I mean,
Yeah,
that's all they
I'm actually
got?
very surprised. I'm actually
What's their
saying
tight
this.
end name? McBride.
McBride,
Yeah, they-
James Conner.
Oh, my.
I am actually very surprised that I'm saying this, by the way. I would never have thought that I would say the Arizona Cardinals are 2-0, and they actually, everything seems to be clicking for them.
Oh, please jinx them.
I hope I am, because I don't like Kyler Murray. So,
Why do you not like Kyler
he
Murray?
was such a jerk throughout the pre-draft
He is.
process, and
Right,
he's
that's
been
who
a
he
jerk
is.
throughout the whole thing.
That's who he
Like,
is.
I know that's who he is. I just don't like him.
Yeah.
So
Like you see, he apologized for his pit bull picture that he posted with a Virginia Tech.
I haven't seen
hoodie
that.
on.
Don't apologize.
Yeah,
for
he
it, Kyler.
apologized. That he said he had no intentions, and he's not, people for.
Now, the Cardinals have played the Panthers and the Saints, so that is something that needs to be thrown out there. Not two known powerhouses, but I will say they do look like they're a team that's starting to figure it all out. They play San Francisco this weekend, but as of right now, when a team from the East Coast goes all the way over to the West Coast, it usually ends up bad. So I'm going to give favor to the Arizona Cardinals, mainly due to travel in this situation.
Oh man, dude, travel. Well, I think that since the Titans don't want to travel a long road back here because they know people going to be pissed they lose, so that's going to scare them to a win.
I like it.
So that then makes them. They will be 2-2.
No, 2-3.
2-3. Yes.
Well, I got him at 0-4 right now, but
See, I'm
but
at 2-3.
I'm liking this road trip. I'm going to say Titans get the win over Arizona.
Okay.
First of the season.
I like it.
Oh my.
So Titans then go on the road to Las Vegas.
Hey, this is.
And I'm going to get a little
schedule?
crazy here because
set
I'm going to
this
chalk
schedule?
this up as a win.
I am as well.
Uh-oh.
Sweep
And
the road trip.
with this road trip, I'm going to do it because this Raiders team is a little weird right now. It's still trying to figure itself out as well. And besides Max Crosby, what's really going to scare you on this team? You got Max Crosby and you got Brock Bowers. That's a little bit easier of a team to possibly cover.
How did you not see the quarterback?
I think Geno Smith's I'm not as high on Geno
Genty?
Smith as everybody else.
Genty?
Oh, Janty? Oh, actually, Janty hasn't been that good, so I'm not even worried
you got
about
to
it.
get some blocking.
Yeah.
You can't
They
run.
don't have a good offensive line. This may be one of the few offensive lines that are worse than yours, or at least on the same path as yours. So I'm going with a win. So this is going to be my second win
You're
right here.
win.
This is pretty positive for me. I just want you
Watch
guys
this.
to know that.
I'm already going to predict that they're going to win this game only because soon as they leave from Arizona, they're going to just fly over to Las Vegas. They're not coming home.
That's what they should do.
Yeah, I'm already telling them, hint, hint.
Yeah.
So this is what you should do, and this is how you win back-to-back on the West Coast. And then you come back here celebrating. So then we'll be 3
And
and
three?
3.
Heading into the Patriots game for you.
Yes.
That's pretty good. I got them at obviously 2-4 heading into the Patriots game. And you have them 2-4 as well, right,
I
Russ?
do. I have them sweeping this road trip out west.
Okay. So here it is. It's the Patriots game. Patriots are coming home. You've been on a 3-week road trip. Patriots are coming home. Mike Vrabel's going to be salivating at the mouth.
Yes.
So where are we at on the Patriots game? Because I'm going to say it, and I'll be the first one to say it. I think Callahan beats Mike Vrabel and the Patriots.
Yep, I do too. I think he's going to bring a can of you-know-what. And it starts with an A and it ends with an S. He's going to bring that kind of can, and the team will. And they then hence go to 4-3.
Ross, I know where you're probably going.
Vrabel's dog walking Callahan. If we think
Now,
that's
if this was let me ask
It's
say
a coach
something.
against coach now.
Yeah, if this was a wrestling match or a ballroom brawl, then yes, Mike Vrabel would definitely beat the crap out of Brian Callahan. There's no doubt about it.
Well, he's also going to be a better game planner.
schematically and
Yeah,
situationally,
exactly. He's
schematically
going.
and situationally, he is going to.
But I
dog
think the
walk
players
Callahan.
on the field, I'm going to pick the Tennessee Titans.
I am too.
Because I think the Tennessee Titans do have a better team on the field, an overall team.
Yeah, better team.
Now, does a better pass rush exist over with the Patriots? Likely so. but I think that they have the overall better team. And I think that's going to be the edge. I don't think there's going to be a situation where the rules come into play that is going to make Brian Callahan lose this game.
I think it's going to be Vrabel putting the throat around his own team all week with tight booty. Yeah, all
so
week.
they're not going to play loose.
There you go. And then hence the Titans will be 4-3.
So you got 4-3. Surprisingly enough, going through this, me going 3-4, I think is pretty good.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty positive for all the people that don't want to. For me. I'm only one win difference from you.
Even Ross is worse than you.
I got him at 2-5.
Got him 2-5. So,
which is probably more.
So when people call in and say that I'm too negative, y'all should talk to the producer and tell him he's too negative.
Yeah,
he's too negative.
Vrabel is going to
I don't think so.
Watch out.
Here's the thing. I don't think he's going to dog walk the Titans because I don't think he has the horses. I think he wants to.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just don't think he has the horses to do it.
No, I don't think they're going to blow us out or anything. I just think the way they will play compared to the way we will play, it'll look night and day different in that game.
It may, but I'm also giving credence to, the first quarter of the season, you're trying to figure out who you are. Well, we're now in the second quarter of the season, so we should know what the Tennessee Titans are.
Oh, yeah.
And they should be better than what we've seen the last 2 weeks. If they are not better, I'm filing for hazard pay with the station because we have to get on here and talk about this team. If they don't get better, we deserve hazard pay.
No. Now, here's something to consider. Now, if they are where Ross says they will be, based off of your record, you said they'll be what, 2-4 or 2-5?
2-5. Yep.
2-5. Then the question becomes: is it now time to trade and get rid of elite players?
Let's
that
talk
you have, because that's
that.
You only got so many of them on the team.
So I want to talk about what our different records mean for the long haul coming up next. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. Powered by All Four Seasons Garage Store. 615-737-1045 is the number.
Teacher.
Yeah.
People are asking, did Snead practice today?
I do not know. Do we have a practice update yet?
I'll look, but I don't think so.
What?
Okay.
I was saying I don't think we have an update, but I'll
Oh,
look.
I thought you said you don't think he practiced.
2-5. If it's Ross's prediction, 2-5 or worse. And you're getting closer and closer to the trade deadline, which is typically at the end of October.
Yeah, if we're 2-5, you got to start thinking of
I mean, are you entertaining offers for Calvin Ridley, L'Jarius Sneed? Because those are guys that can now be traded at that point in the offseason. You could save money on the cap. Jeffrey Simmons is still a guy that could be out there to be up for trade.
If we're 2-5, all bets are off. Yeah, I'm open to all trades. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like
I'm picking up draft picks. I'm just if we're this that means we're going nowhere. There's going to be a lot of people not here, whether player or coaches. It's just that
and your draft picks have looked better.
Oh, yeah,
the offensive draft picks have looked better than the veterans that you have on the roster right now.
Yeah. So
I mean, let's be honest. Elikai Manor looks better than Calvin Ridley. I would say this. I think you would be just as good as you are now if you had Van Jefferson, Elikai Manor, and Chimere Dike out there as your top 3 wide receivers, or Bryce Oliver.
Right.
Bryce Oliver and Van Jefferson feel like they can get you the same amount as what Calvin Ridley can get you on a per-week basis.
Based off of what's been done so far?
Yeah.
I got a practice update
from
our man, Teron Davenport. No sign of J.C. Latham or Bryce Oliver. Tavondre Sweat, Kevin Zeitler returned, and L'Jarius Sneed worked on a side field. So limited for Sneed.
Well,
so limited. Hope. But it's limited. It is limited.
Hope.
Now, apparently, some of the people that said they didn't see it practice yesterday was actually listed as limited on the injury report. So can you pull up yesterday's injury report, Ross, and update
Sneed?
it? Well, I can't remember who it was. So I don't want to say who it was.
They said
but
he
I think
didn't practice.
Sweat was limited yesterday, and they said he didn't practice yesterday, but he was limited on the practice report.
Oh.
So the report we got said Latham, Oliver, Sneed, and Zeitler did not practice, and then Mullins, Sweat, and Winston were limited.
Mullins and Sweat were limited. I knew there were 2 limited. I just couldn't remember who it was.
Gotcha.
So we're all agreed, 2-5. You're looking to trade as many assets as you possibly can within reason.
Right, yeah. And it's only, big name guys.
Yeah. Thoughts on
unfortunately-
Brian Callahan at 2-5?
Gone.
Yeah, he won't be here.
Do you think mid-season, or you just don't think he won't be here after the season? Because I agree after the season.
I think after the Patriots game.
If we're going to make bold predictions, if they go 2-5,
And one of those is a Patriots loss at home.
yeah, he won't be here. That's just me though.
That's a bold prediction.
Yeah, but no, that ain't the bold. The bold prediction is Bones Fossil will be the head coach of the Tennessee Titans.
That's probably the only guy you really got on the roster that you can trust to do it.
Could Mike McCoy do it? Do you think?
I mean, I think yes, but you may want Mike McCoy to be offensive czar instead of just head coach. I mean, because you need a play caller, right? Even if you have Bones Fossil, maybe that's who your play caller is. If you're Bones Fossil, you make Mike McCoy your play caller. That's probably your best path forward is to do that. Okay, if they're 3-4. We're feeling pretty good. I mean, probably still 3 more wins. Maybe you may be tempted to say, this could be a little 7-win team. They're playing a little bit better.
2-5, he may still be here, though. 2-5, maybe.
4-3, though. I mean, what if Blaine's prediction of 4-3? You to get to 4-3. If we're taking Blaine's prediction, you get 3 straight victories, which is the first time that's happened since 2021 or 2022 to even have 2 back to back.
I think it's been 4 years since they won back
to back. So now you've done 3. So you've done the impossible, Blaine.
And so that means he will be back because he's done something that other people couldn't do.
Yeah, other people couldn't do. But are you feeling pretty good? 4-3. If you got wins at 4-3. You got wins over the Colts. You got wins over
Arizona,
Vegas, Raiders, and Patriots.
I think they're capable.
Yeah. That's not a bad resume to have going back on the road to the Colts.
Yeah.
So 4-3, you would be feeling pretty good, more than likely.
All right, watch this. Do you think the Patriots are more talented than the Titans? Just on talent.
I don't think so.
Right, okay. Do you think Vegas is?
Talent-wise, yes, but they haven't really been able to put it together
yet. See? So that's why I'm saying now Arizona may be a little different animal. I haven't watched them. You've watched them and said you've seen some really good things.
I think they're starting to put it all together. And I think that's what's dangerous, that they're putting it together early in the season and gives you confidence to build upon. And I think that's why they could be a frisky team. They may not be a playoff team, but they're a frisky team.
It's kind of been their thing, though. I mean,
they've been a frisky team or barely squeaking to the
But like
playoffs.
I'm saying, like starting out a little better, but then kind of just flattening out, bottoming out later on in the season. But, I mean, we played them early, so that's not good for us.
Yeah.
Based on that trend.
That's true. And you play them at home. I think that's the big thing for me.
My thing is, though, like if we're 4-3, or heck, even 3-4, I would keep Callahan. Also, I wouldn't really trade anybody either, honestly. Like especially if we're 4-3, maybe like somebody that doesn't see the field, but I'm not trading an asset or, any of those guys if we were 4-3.
No.
Yeah.
No. That's why we have to be 2-5.
Yeah, I think 2 and 5 is that threshold. Because even 3 and 4, you start trading assets at 3 and 4, you're basically telling everybody you're just tanking the rest away. And that's not. I don't think this team's going to be this team's MO. Yeah. If they're at 4-3 or 3-4, they're feeling pretty good about themselves.
You think we still got a shot at the playoffs? No doubt.
Yeah, especially if you're going
you're looking
3
to
games
get
in
some
a row.
additions. You may go sign some people.
Well, that's the thing is like Cam Ward is putting together good games, right? When you're getting to 4 wins or 3 wins in the span of these next few weeks, you're talking about Cam Ward showing Cam Ward things. And if that's the case, that means maybe Calvin Ridley's finally stepping up. Maybe that means that Chig finally learned how to block, even though he hasn't through 4 years.
Or Gunner.
Or Gunner. Maybe Gunner has finally learned how to block, even though he hasn't shown that he has been able to do that at this level. But this schedule is supposed to let up. And if you're at 4-3 or 3-4, and you're talking about
after the toughest part of
the schedule, you're feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Does that mean that I'm going to predict this team to go to the playoffs? Probably not. But again, it's all about about Cam Ward and building a competitive product. And by 3-4 or 4-3, you have at least shown glimpses of that.
Oh, I know what they need to do.
Okay,
I figured it out just before we go. Big Jeff, see if he can play right tackle.
There you go.
Right tackle. I think he could do it.
Or just put him in at fullback. Here's what you do. I can fix the screen game. You put wherever you're going to run the screen, just line up Big Jeff out wide.
Oh.
And then let him just run over whatever. Yeah, block for Chig or block for Calvin Ridley. But you put Jeffrey Simmons out there, that defense is going to be going crazy. That opposing defense, they're going to be like, why is Jeffrey Simmons lined up at wide receiver?
Oh, that would be awesome. And let Chig run behind him.
You let Chig run behind him.
This is why he's sitting right there. He's not at practice right now.
Hey, just saying, I'm trying to fix the screen game. Because Callahan can't, so at least let me do it.
Don't do screens.
I'm saying don't do screens.
Well, yeah,
but if you're going to have to do one,
screen was called for them.
Yeah, if you're going to have to do one, do it with Jeffrey Simmons as your blocker. Why not?
Man,
why not? Do something. Put Devondre Sweat and Jeff out there.
I may think I'm crazy. I'm real serious about this right tackle.
Yeah, there you go. That will do it for us. We'll talk all Colts tomorrow. Titans versus Colts all day tomorrow. This is Cover 2 with Blaine Bishop and Zach Lyons here on 104.5 The Zone. 3HL's up next. And in the meantime.
And in between time.
Peace.
Big. Oh.
I love living in Middle Tennessee. We've got great restaurants, entertainment, sports, and one of the nation's top Ford dealers right here in our backyard. Two Rivers Ford. Remember that name. Two Rivers has been a staple in our community since 1983. They're locally owned. They have a non-commissioned sales team, and they sell below MSRP. They've been doing business with integrity for decades. Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.